The Samsung Galaxy A15, a budget mid-range smartphone ready to work at any period of time. This phone is costing somewhere around $120, which is good for you on the go. If you're looking for a cheap smartphone, I think this is one of the best phones to buy out there. But still, before you buy this phone, you need to know the specs and if this phone is good enough to buy. So this is the review of the Samsung Galaxy A15. Starting off with the unboxing. In the box we're going to get the phone first, then after that we're also going to get the information guide, the C2C type cable, the SIM ejector tool, and finally the phone. Personally speaking, I think expecting a charging brick from Samsung these days is a bit too much, so don't even think about it. Now let's look at the design and build quality. The Samsung Galaxy A15 is a glass front, plastic back, and a plastic front. The plastic back has a problem of being glossy. It looks good, but the fingerprints are just going to come, and a lot. But the materials are very good enough for durability since this is a budget smartphone. On the side we get the volume buttons and also the power button, which is doubling as a fingerprint sensor. This also works again with face lock, so I don't think you're going to be having a problem. At the back we have the original Samsung look, which is a triple camera setup. We have a Type-C port, a dual SIM card slot, which also works as a SD card slot, which means that the storage on this phone is expandable. Talking about the display, the Samsung Galaxy A15 is a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED 90Hz display, which has a peak brightness of 800 nits, which means that using this phone in outside conditions is not going to be a problem since this phone is very bright. The phone goes up to a resolution of 1080p, but the one thing that I don't like about the display is the thick bezels. But asking too much on a budget smartphone is again being foolish, so you're going to need to work with them. Talking about performance, we are going to get an Android 14 working with One UI 6.1. The chipset is the MediaTek Helio G99 chipset, which is good for gaming and almost everything overall. This phone can actually work games such as Outfight 8, we have Call of Duty, PUBG Mobile, and even Subway Surfers, which is not even a surprise since this chipset is very strong. This phone comes in many variants, but I didn't understand, but I think these are going to be two variants, which are 128 gigabytes of internal storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM, and 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. The one that I have right now is 128 gigabytes of internal storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is well enough for anyone looking for a budget smartphone. Looking at the camera, we have a triple camera setup. We have a 15 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro lens. Then again, the front camera is 18 megapixels, and the video quality can actually be taken up to 1080p at 30 frames per second, which is very good video quality. But as always, the photos are always going to need to be taken in areas with good lighting. And then we have to talk about the battery capacity. The Samsung Galaxy A15 has a 5000 milliamp power battery, which can charge up to 100% in somewhere around 2 hours to 2 hours 30 minutes. Can charge at a maximum of 25 watts, which is also going to be a disadvantage because you're going to need to buy the 25 watt charging brick. I think this phone, it's somewhere around $120 is a good price point. I even saw some others selling it for somewhere around $150, which is still a good price. But still finding the cheapest is best if you want to save a little money. But I think this phone is a very good one. Despite, number one, the thick bezels, everything else is fine. So I think this is a good phone to buy in 2024. Thank you for watching. And as always, if you want to buy this phone, you're welcome.